Hi, this week's video is about me broadening my horizons a little bit. So I got this giant table in, it was given to me, and so I decided I'm going to spread my wings a little bit and do something that I don't normally do. So first of all, I inspected it. Underneath, a child had his way with the Sharpie, so we got after that with some black paint. And that was after a cleaning, of course, and I used Dixie Belle's White Lightning. Now I'm going to be sanding this piece and staining it. So a lot of people would ask, why do you clean it before you sand it? But the idea here is you don't want to force any more of those dirt particles into the surface of the wood unnecessarily. So it's always a good idea to clean it first, because yuck, and then get started with your sanding. Now there's going to be a lot of sanding footage in this video. Just remember, when you use a TSP type cleaner like White Lightning, you always want to rinse it so that you get the remaining residue off of there so that you don't have any adhesion issues with your paint or stain. So like I said, true confessions here, I'm more of an artistry painter, so I don't sand a lot, and I don't use stain a lot. So I bought a new sander, and I will say it's not the best sander that there is, but it had pretty good reviews. Also, I have this piece on wheels on its side, because it is totally heavy. When the guy brought it in, I just told him to leave it on its side, and then we managed to get it on wheels. So the moral of the story is that I probably didn't have the best leverage that I could have on this. Also, it is veneer on MDF. It's really heavy, but it's got a lot of, it's definitely MDF on the underside. So I didn't want to go after it too aggressively, so I started with an 80 grit sandpaper. So you can see there's a lot of marks on here, and so I just kept going after it. I went 180, and then I went, or not 180, I'm sorry, 180, then I went 120, and then I went backwards, and I thought I'll try 40 because nothing seemed to be budging it. So like I said, I don't sand often. I watch a lot of videos and I watch people do this. So I don't know really whether the sander is just not good or whether it was my angle, but I do try again to flip the table once we finally get the strength to flip the table. So I will tell you, first of all, I wasn't real aggressive about flipping it right away because this is my first week back in the store after having COVID, so I'm a little bit weak. So I was trying to do it the easy way, I guess. And I always say that I'm more of an artistry furniture painter. I do decorative finishes, and sometimes people have said about didn't do prep or all that. There's more than one way to paint furniture, and the Dixie Belle paint that I use, technically you don't have to sand. If you use the chalk mineral paint, it's kind of textury and it really grabs onto anything pretty much. The silk, they do recommend scuff sanding, and I do that. I don't always do it on camera though. So anyway, I feel like I'm justifying why my sanding job is not going so smoothly. So I do continue to sand, and I also have another true confession. I've been a Dixie Belle retailer and now an elite retailer. So I've been, with the company for 6 years, and I never used the new formula of the no paint gel stain. So there's where I went back to a 40. So this is a new thing for me too. I'm going to give that a whirl. Now, I do, as I continue to sand, I do kind of realize that I'm going to try. I've heard, people that use the no paint gel stain were able to just sand and kind of stain over an uneven surface and get a good result. So that's kind of my hope. I don't want to take it the whole way back. I was trying to avoid stripping this piece, and it might still happen. I might end up stripping it. This is a 2-part video this week because I am not real happy with the way the top is yet. So I feel like I sort of damaged a little bit. And next week, before I get into everything, I'll show you the places because I'll let you know where we left off with this, of course, and continue the journey. So as you see, the table got flipped, and I did use 240 and cleaned it off, and now I'm starting to try the gel stain. So at first I thought, this isn't doing anything, but then the more stain that I got worked into that applicator pad that I'm using, the better coverage I was getting. Because of the size of this table, I had to put it on my sales floor to work on it. So as you can see, there was plastic and everything else involved so that no sand, sawdust or stain got anywhere that it wasn't supposed to be. But I did kind of do it strategically when we were closed so that no one would obviously impair their shopping, because that's always number one, or also get anything on them. So we're very careful about this. So I continue to stain the piece, and then I do wipe it back I use a cloth to wipe back the excess stain. Now this is an oil-based stain, so it kind of remained oily for a little bit. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. It looks pretty good on film, but when you see it close up, you'll see why I'm a little frustrated. And it's not the stain. I think the stain's doing an amazing job. It's me or something, or the sanding or something. But anyway, I decide to let that stain kind of drink in, and then I'm going to reattack that situation. Meanwhile, remember the marker that was underneath the table? Well, they got it all over the legs and the skirt of the table as well. So I'm using Dixie Belle's Boss. Now I did use the sander on these legs, which I think are solid pine, and they sanded really nicely. So I was able to get the just the dings and stuff out of the legs and smooth them down. So again, I intend to use Dixie Belle's Silk and Endless Shore on the legs, but I decided that this Boss would be a good idea just because of the marker. I I shouldn't have had to worry about any bleed through, but you never know. And since things weren't going so smoothly with the top, I just decided it would be the best bet to do that. So now I start to paint with silk in Endless Shore. I'm using Dixie Belle's Scarlet brush, and that allows me to put the flat side up against the rim or the top, and then get on all those curved areas as well. So here's where we are with things. Like I said, on film it looks a little better, so I'm going to be continuing to work on the top until I'm happy with that, which may involve completely stripping back all of the stain that's on there and what was on there previously. And I'll be adding another coat to the legs, and also I may be working on some chairs to add to the mix. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, how about giving it a thumbs up and also share it with your friends? If you haven't subscribed, you'll want to do that so you don't miss anything. Visit us at LaVintageDecor.company, and on Instagram we're LaVintage Decor, and on Facebook we're LaVintage Decor Altoona. Stay well.